Hey you guys, Team Jamaicanscotchmafia here, and I'm here to give you another deck check profile, whatever you want to call it. Like in the future videos or previous videos, whoever uploads them first, I played this deck. Basically I went with locals with it, a 3-0. It was pretty funny actually. I didn't expect this deck to work so well. I was only meant to play it as a little troll deck, but I'm actually going to be very serious with this deck from now on. So basically, it's about when you get to the grade 3s, you know about it. So let's start with the starting Vanguard. It's Wingo Brave. Basically, you know what it does. It goes back a row. If you ride a grade 1 over it, that's a Royal Paladin. And if the boosted hit, and this thing boosts a blaster blade, any blaster, move to soul, get any blaster. So that's Wingo Brave. That's for the starting Vanguard. I'll do grade 3s downwards. So 3 Pendragon. Yes, this is the Pendragon deck, which surprisingly I actually like a lot. Pendragon, it's just basically one of the toolbox grade 3s. Once you play it against 5k, and then next turn if you have you can activate his limit break as long as you have 4 damage and search for a new grade 3 to ride over, hoping for a better grade 3. So basically this deck is now a toolbox, and it also gives you that it generates the soul as well, so it's pretty good. I run only one soul savior. Basically, it's a win conditioning card. Like for the late game, you want to just push for game, play soul savior, and then everything that you give is 5k. Basically, I only run one because, like again, I said this deck is a toolbox, and sometimes I do not get into the Wingo Brave thing. So I was stuck on three cards in soul, and then when I look at, and I don't want to see too many of this card because, like I said, it's one of the win conditioning cards. So I wanted to see other grade 3s instead of him until I got that 5 soul. So either then, good late game finisher. It's pretty decent. For mid game, either from supportive rear guard or into the Vanguard is Alfred, the King of Knights. He's pretty good on the Vanguard. Becomes 2k if you have all of your rows filled up with Royal Paladins. And you can counterblast 3 to get any unit, grade 2 or lower, so it's also pretty good. It also switches out a really key card in the deck that I'll show you guys later on. Overall, you can ride this on top of Pendragon, and this guy's effect will be amazing. So that's that. And now we go to the true support rear guards. Mahouse. Basically, whenever it attacks the Vanguard, it gains 2k. It's good enough to ride over with Pendragon, or in the rear guard. Just swings for 12 to your opponent's Vanguard, and you have a Marin behind it. It becomes 20, so it's pretty good. One Holy Disaster Dragon. Like again, it's just supportive rear guards, and plus if you ride it over, it's not that big of a deal. It gets you can also ditch one card to gain 5k, so pretty good. And Boars. I like Boars. He's the pimp of Vanguard, if you could say. But instead of running Palamunis, and basically it's because at times Palamunis needs another grade 3 to get that additional 3k. But for Boars, I could just counterblast one off the spot for that 3k if I don't have another grade 3. And plus, this deck doesn't really use that much counterblast, to be honest. It's perfect. And if you play over Pendragon, still good. And just counterblast 1 against 3k, perfect. Because I'm running with the Wingles, I'm running 4 Blaster Blades. Pretty standard. It's a popping unit, so it's pretty good like that. 2 Akanes. Usually I use her counterblast at least once just to get that key cards like Toy Poogle and everything. So she's pretty decent. Not pretty decent, what am I saying? She's really good. Just gets that extra +1. She's the tour guide in freaking Vanguard. 3 Randolph. Basically, okay, so when I was playing this deck, a lot of people just underestimated this card. This card's freaking amazing. I like it. Basically what it does is if you have more cards than your opponent, this thing gains 3k. So basically he's hitting for 11. And with Toy Poogle behind it, this thing is hitting for 20 if I have more cards in your hand. I'll explain that more often, what this deck actually truly wants to do. Same thing with Baromedes. Basically, Palamedes is his little brother. Same thing as Palamedes. If I have 2 or more grade 3s, he gains 3k, so it becomes 11. Again, with Toy Boogle behind it, 20k column. And then just the regular 10k guys, Lamarok. 10k. I'd rather choose this guy than Gallatin because his art's just cool. Now we go to the grade ones. I use 3 Marins. Just put 1 behind the Vanguard, 1 in this, 1 to ride, and 1's just that one. So basically 8k vanilla for a support unit. It's pretty decent. 3 Toy Poogles. Basically, if I have 2 or more grade 3s, gains 3k. And basically what this deck tries to do is make every column hit for 20. And it does it so well with Pendragon, because Pendragon, you have to run 8 grade 3s, which is a lot of grade 3s to play. And plus there's so many supported grade 3s, this card just becomes very viable. Basically, since I have the Randolph and Baramudes, with this card's help, they all swing, those columns swing for 20. And if it's behind one of the supportive grade 3s, they hit for 21, and so on and so forth. So basically this card is a really great grade 3 for Pendragon, for my Pendragon to use. And of course, I run 4 null guards. Basically, this deck is very as power wise is very underwhelming. So basically, you can your opponent, if they run a really rush deck, it'll hurt it. But if it's running a very powerful deck, I have to run these because my Vanguard's only 10k. So null guards are a very viable choice for this, and 4 is just amazing. For what's so different between freaking my other Paladin decks and versus this Pendragon is that the null guards actually do not come to my hand as much, and for Pendragon that's a problem because I really do need it. So I have to run 4, and it's really good. Basically, like I'm facing against other limit breakers, null it. Their effects are really just not that great anymore. And then 2 Pungle just to search out the Soul Saver and the +1 soul. Nothing much. Now we go to the trigger lineup. I run 6 crits. Basically, like again, if you're not running the crits, you're not going to win the game as much. Basically, this is a win conditioning cards. You either have to play crits, like in some sort of way. Either it's going to be like 2 crits, you still have to play them because they just pump up that damage. That's basically what I'm trying to say. I run 6 draws, pretty standard because the deck needs hand size because of Randolph, and plus it needs to search out and needs to thin the deck for Pendragon to get those grade 3s. But also, Margot's such a good card. You soul charge it, and a unit gains 3k. So basically, I could put one of the supportive like Alfreds and supportive rear guards and gain an additional 3k. With Toy Poogle at the back, and they'd be swinging for 22, and so basically 20 columns. So it's pretty cool. And plus Margot gives you that +1 soul. And of course, the 4 Eels, pretty self-explanatory. So basically what you, for the people who want to try this deck, I have a little hint to give you. I'm not going to explain throughout all these advantages this deck can do, but I will give you a little tips and tricks. For Pendragon, if you ride over Pendragon, right, and it has that 5k, and you want to do your limit break, while it has that 5k, do not do that. That is not a really smart play, unless you know that you have a Soul Saver coming up, and it's going to go for game, or, like, that's the only reason why I'll do that. But if it has the 5k, and you're pretty much set to go, just swing with that 15, because sooner, like, you won't, odds are, when you go over this with another grade 3, that other grade 3 is not going to be that great until this thing's 15k wears off. So that's one thing. Rationalize your triggers. What I mean by that is I play a Holy Disaster Dragon on this circle, and I have the Rudolph and Palamedes on the other one. When I trigger something, don't put everything onto one side. Split it up. Like, you could put a crit here on the 20k column, and then also an additional 5k here. So basically your opponent has to guard for 5 and 15. So that's another thing. You have to, not 5, 15, 10, and so basically you have to rationalize. Another thing is, pay attention to what you're playing. Legitimately, you have to pay attention. Do not play random rear guards and vanguards. You have to think about what you're playing. Like, if you don't have a grade 3, you won't play the Paramutis, right? But you'll play the Randolph. So that type of stuff you have to really pay attention to. Don't go willy-nilly with your counterblasts as well. Try to conserve. Even though I'm running 4 blaster blades, I don't really like to play them in the rear guard circles and use as a counterblast. I'd rather save those up for Akane and Alfred and also Boris because their abilities are so much better. Anyways, that's pretty much it. This is my Pendragon build. And there's Wingle, my friend. But anyways, yeah. And it's Jamaican Hopscotch Mafia, AJ here, signing out. See ya.